in the Women's Challenge Cup semi-finals, it finished York 32, Castleford 4. And we had a few fan reviews with this one.
Yep. Tom Andrews said, enjoyable game ending with bizarrest goal kick ever. Didn't realise points difference counted in the cup. Yeah, Castleford's 4 points came from 2 penalty goals. Both of them questionable decisions to take. But yeah, Dr. Hideous said, in most of the women's games so far, my biggest criticism has been players not committing to tackles. There was none of that here from either team. The first half was York's by far, 20 points to 2. Despite some good tackling, York sliced the defence open repeatedly. The second half was closer, with better organised defence from Cass keeping York from running riot. Well worth watching on catch-up if you didn't see it. And Fatboy Rob just said, fuck York, cunts. But yeah, York were much the better side, as the scoreline suggests, because they were so well organised defensively as much as anything else. Better organised at both ends of the pitch, I think. But at 4-0, Castleford chose to take a penalty kick at goal to get on the scoreboard. And I think that was a huge mistake. And I'm sure looking back at the game when they review it, they'll question that decision. Because a lot of times, in the women's game, teams can score from good field position. And they didn't get a lot of good field position in this game. They should have tried to capitalise on it when they had it early doors, and it probably would have seen things look very different. But ultimately, York managed to get that foothold into the game, keep that lead, and building confidence and composure as the game went on to, like David sort of said, control the second half after pretty much winning the game in the first. In the other semi-final, though, Sarah.
Yeah, so the other semi-final finished St Helens 20, Leeds 12.
Yep, and at Mike Webb 58 said, getting bowled out for 34 at cricket wasn't part of the plan, but got to enjoy most of the match. Great skills and entertainment from both sides, but Saints were very good. Credit to Leeds for sticking in, but equally to Saints for finally overcoming them in a semi-final. Really looking forward to the triple header. Yes. Leeds' grip on the Women's Challenge Cup is finally over after back-to-back wins in 18 and 19. So we're going to see a new name on that trophy, which is exciting. And Saints finally making a final. It will be a big deal for them. Jodie Cunningham was really visible in this game. She played at loose forward, but had a big ball handling role in the match and was involved in probably 2 or 3 times in every set. Huge involvement from her. But Saints were better across the board, I thought. Really organised and disciplined. I think one of the most mistake-free performances I've seen from a women's side, because at that level, with the women not being professionals or anything, you do tend to see a lot more mistakes. But this game wasn't like that. Two good sides. Leeds flashed with skill, but they were not as consistent in this game. Despite probably having the more skillful back line, they didn't control the game at all. So well done to Saints who did that, and good win for them. Be an exciting final on the 5th of June. Is it the first game live on BBC Two?
For those people that have tickets.
Yes. Also for the how many people get to go? 600, 1,200, 24, 33,000-ish when the women's game's taken into consideration too, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Do you want to run us through the results in the Championship?
Yeah, so in the Championship it was round 7. Finished Toulouse 66, Swinton 18. London 8, Bradford 33. Newcastle 0, Halifax 32. Widnes 44, Whitehaven 6, York 34, Oldham 6, Sheffield 18, Featherstone 50, and Dewsbury and Batley were postponed until they hope larger crowds are allowed.
Very late fan viewing from Dr. Hideous, that he used the loophole of sending a message to us, Sarah, to make sure we didn't miss it.
I saw that.
He said, do I win a prize for the most latest game review? You don't win a prize for it, but that's what you've achieved here. Fast physical game from both sides, but London's defence still has weaknesses. The makings of a good punch-up sadly snuffed out by a mass pile-on. Brough was my player of the match. Meadows best for London, and Crossley was also impressive. And what the fuck is a 2040? So I'm guessing Danny Brough kicked the first 2040.
Wow.
Because I hadn't seen or heard of one actually happen. But yeah, they're a thing this year, David. And Danny Brough, I'm guessing, is the person who kicked it. Shall we check? Let's get our League Expresses open.
Too dark to read here.
Bradford game. Actually, it was a big win for Bradford. If we're talking about any game from that group of games, our Championship game of the week was postponed. So let's talk about what would have been next, and that was London Bradford. And Bradford are in great form, 5 wins in a row against a well-resourced London side. So yeah. It doesn't actually. I can't actually see. Oh no, yeah. Danny Brough's 23rd minute, 2040, followed by 2 rapid scores, turned the game in favour of Bradford. It was in the match review from Hugh Richards in the League Express. So there you go. Actually, there was a really good try scored by Brandon Pickersgill in that spell after that. Full length for the fielder though, so it wasn't off the 2040, but yeah, worth watching. But that's the Championship. The standings are Toulouse and Featherstone are still on 100%. Bradford in 3rd are on 83%, with Batley on 66% and York on 57% in 5th. Halifax, London and Dewsbury all have 50% records in mid-table, and Sheffield are on 41%, with Widnes on 35%, then Whitehaven and Oldham on 58%. Newcastle have 25%. Swinton are still languishing at the bottom without a win so far, so on 0%. What happened in League One, Sarah?
Yep, so it was round 3 of League One. And it finished Doncaster 62, West Wales 24. North Wales 16, Workington 44. Hunslet 6, Barrow 29. Coventry 26, Scholars 44. Keighley 36, Rochdale 43.
Yeah, still too early to really talk about league tables in that division. So let's move on to the NRL, where it was round 11.
Yep, and it finished Cowboys 36, Knights 20, Warriors 30, West Tigers 26, Sharks 13, the Dragons 12.
And Mark Butler said, I've had a wonderful time watching NRL, but this wasn't it. Mostly a knock-on-a-thon, albeit with some nice finishes when the players stopped busting each other across the head for a minute. Cronulla won in a golden point, although I proposed ending it at 80 minutes with no points for either team. That is a new alternative that sometimes is appropriate.
Yep. It finished Titans 30, Bulldogs 20. Thompson got 1 try and made 186 metres. The Roosters 16, the Broncos 34.
David Hunter got in touch and said, seriously, who would have expected this? This result makes me feel like the NRL is back with its unpredictable results. Brisbane were good.
Orchestrated by Albert Kelly.
Yeah, no Herbie though, was there in this one? But a slim down, no longer the nugget slut, Albert Kelly was in operation for the Broncos.
Yep. Raiders 10, Storm 34, with Williams with 1 try assist, Whitehead with 1 try, and Sutton with 117 metres.
Yep, couple of fan views. David Hunter said, engage the faders, led 10-0 with the Storm missing troops, and then once the Storm clicked into gear, the Raiders went missing. Pretty much sums it up. And Mark Butler said, a game where Canberra lived off scraps throughout. They did a lot with it early on, racing into an early 2-try lead with incisive kicking. They had to defend a lot though, and once their dogged resistance was worn down, Melbourne took the game away from them with ease.
It finished the Rabbiters 12 and the Panthers.
Here's my error for the rundown this week, innit? I didn't put the score. Some at millions. They scored about 50. What was it?
And Burgess played in that match.
It was 56. There you go. I wasn't far off. Another rompant display for the Panthers.
Yeah, and finally the Eels 6, the Sea Eagles 28.
Standings, the perfect Panthers stay out on top with 11 wins from 11 played. Storm and Eels are next with 18 points. Just to talk about points and not percentages. Rabbitohs are 4th with 16 points, and Roosters are next on 14. Manly are up to 6 on 12 points. Then the Dragons head a group of 4 on 10 points, joined by the Titans, Warriors and Cowboys. Raiders drop to 11th on 8 points along with the Knights. Sharks, West Tigers, Broncos all have 6 points. increasing the gap between them and the Bulldogs at the bottom, who are still on 2 points. We did get a fan review in from another game. It was Red Star 26, Partizan 30. Dr. Hideous said, "When I were a lad, the Red Star Partizan football derby was this mythical supreme game that we never got to see. The Rugby League version didn't disappoint. Red Star took a quick 10-0 lead and Partizan were on the wrong end of every decision early on, but they kept their cool and slowly caught up, drawing level with 3 minutes to go. A great kick on the third tackle put their right winger over in the corner for a deserved win." Yeah, sounds like an exciting game over there in Serbia from our London-based Serbia correspondent, Dave. I saw a little bit of the French Elite Championship game between Lesignan and St Estève, which was, I saw the last 20 minutes or so, very exciting one way or another. One sort of went one way, swung back the other way, controversial, no penalty call on the pretty much on the hooter. Pretty exciting game, that one. Whilst we're talking other games, but let's do our predictions now, Sarah, shall we? Let's make some guesses. Rightio, it's round 8 of the Super League coming up for us this week. Back to the more traditional time slots. It's the Thursday 7:45pm kickoff in front of the Sky cameras for Salford and Warrington. Salford competitive and improved in recent weeks. Do you think there's any way that they can pull off a win against this informed Wire side?
No, I'm going to go for Wire by 10.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you 100%, Sarah, because I've also written down Wire by 10. I just think they're playing really well at the moment, and they should have enough to beat Salford.
Yep.
Friday 7:45pm kickoff. Intriguing one. Castleford versus Leeds. Two sides in maybe not the greatest of forms. Cas with selection trouble and Leeds with scoring trouble. And I think that's what will swing this game for me. Probably be a fierce atmosphere down the lane as well. I'm going to go Cas by 6 just because I don't trust them to be that great, but I trust them to be able to score more than Leeds.
Yeah, very similar. I've gone Cas by 8.
There you go. We're on the same page. Let's see if that continues into the Sky game on Friday night. 7:45pm kickoff for your Hull FC visiting the reigning double champs St Helens. How do you see it going?
I think I'm going to do something that I don't think I've ever done before. I'm going to back St Helens.
Well, you've backed Saints before. I think what you've not done is picked against Hull.
Yeah. I think it'll be very, very dogged defence, but I think Saints attack will have a bit more than Leeds attack did. And then, of course, we'll beat them in the semi-finals.
I knew that was where your mind was going. It's a bit. Are you thinking a bit like the situation you had Wigan last time around?
I called that as well. I said we'd lose to you in the league and beat you in the cup.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sort of edging the same way. I think it'll be a close game. I think we've got two very strong defensive teams here, but you know, Saints are more established in their patterns than Hull FC are. So, you know, who are still developing under Hodgson, even though they've had a great start to the year. I just think Saints. I'm going to say Saints by 4 in a close, hopefully exciting, and intense game. If not high scoring, let's hope there's intensity in it. But yep. So we're still on the same page. Saturday 5:00 on Sky in the UK, 6:00 if you're in France on whatever channel you have it on over there. Catalans versus Wigan. So Catalans have, you know, a tough run of fixtures is continued by taking on the team at the top. How do you see this one going, Sarah?
You see, my instinct is to still think that Catalans aren't that great, but actually, you know, looking at the fact that they've beaten Saints and us in the last 2 weeks, and they're going back to play at home. So I think I shall differ from you on this one, and I will go for Catalans by 4.
Yeah, to be honest, I think everything about this game says Catalans should win because Wigan